Hello everyone, I'm Esperanza Walsh and this is Art from the Heart of St. Augustine's Church. We are still doing our session remotely because of the lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Our topic for today is still on Cubism, and we do have a three-dimensional model for this one. So I'm going to use this small pot I have at home to be our model, as you can see here in the sample. This activity is relatively simple, but it shows more about Cubism. So let's start. For this particular example, the first thing I would like you to do is to observe this pot. Okay, and we are going to draw it based on how you see it on your screen. So here, beside the pot, I have my sheet of paper, and I'm just going to reach for a pencil and start drawing what I see on my screen. So what I see on my screen is a pot. There we go. And that this pot shape is something like that, curving in. Yeah, curving in like that. And then here, a bit narrower. And then here, curved at the bottom. Let me just erase the unnecessary lines that I have just drawn. Okay, so if you can see what I've just drawn, let me just make it darker so you can see. So this is what I see from this angle. So again, what I'm doing now is just making my sketch darker so you can see it. There we go. So I have this object over here, which is my pot, and this sketch of the pot based on how I perceive it. Now, in Cubism, we draw different planes of the same. We draw the object from different planes, and we draw all those planes in one plane. I know it sounds complicated, but what I'm saying is that if I do this, I see this bit here. Of course, I see the center as well, but I just want to involve myself with the bigger part here, the outer circle. So what I'm going to do is just to draw that circle here at the bottom of the original sketch. So let me just make that darker as well. So it's still the same sketch. I'm just making it darker so you can see it better from your end. So there it is. I have the first one, which is in this angle, and the second one in this angle. Now, I could make it more exciting and draw the inner part, but I won't do that. That would be for another day. Now, again, we see it from different perspectives. This time, I want to see it from this perspective. So what do I exactly see here? I see 1, 2 lines and the shape of my pot. So is it just straight lines? Okay, it doesn't seem to be straight lines on the screen. So in this case, I won't draw straight lines. It would still be curved lines. So let me just turn this here so I can draw it. Okay, now let me darken the sketch so you can also see it. Okay, and then one side here. And another side. And this is the end. So now this is my sketch for this set with this as my subject. Okay, I will now be painting this. And to paint it, I will follow the same pattern as this one. I will make everything in the pot violet, the top part orange, and the lower part green. Okay. Okay, let me just rinse my brush to make sure it's clean. Again, the procedure is the same as we did on our previous session in Cubism. Okay, so when we paint this, yeah, we paint it with water first. So this bit here, I'm painting with water, 2/3 of it with water. And then we paint the other end with violet. And we just spread that paint to the rest of that area. Okay. I don't think I did that bit quite well. I think I need to lift the color, sorry, the paint in particular, to make it look clean because I went over the line. There we go. Okay, I might need to lift some of the paint off as well because there was too much water in it. Okay, now there's too much paint in it, so let's see if we can balance it out that way. If not, we need to lift it. Yeah, we would have to lift it. Okay. And for this part, I will just lift this. Okay. And there we go. We started painting the body of the vase. Now I will continue here in this area. Again, 2/3 of this would be painted with water. I will turn it around to make it easier for me to paint. Okay. Okay, and I would need to lift the excess water here and excess paint because I don't want to create a puddle. Okay, that's now much better. Now the next thing would be to paint this area over here. Again, 2/3 of it will be painted with water. Now the rest will be painted with violet. Okay. Okay, I think that's a bit too much. Okay, that's okay now. And then we will paint this area on top with orange. So it's still the same procedure. Okay, by that I mean 2/3 of it has to be painted with water. And then the rest, okay, would be painted as per we did previously with violet, which will be painting this area. Okay, with orange. Okay, I think we need to add water to this one because it has dried so fast. Okay, to do that, we just get our brush, the one we use for water, and then just paint the piece with water. Okay, now we lift any excess paint. Okay, so we've now painted that area orange. We're just cleaning our brush. Okay, and then later on we will paint this area blue. Let me see, we might need to do that now because the violet areas are still drying. Okay, so let me get the palette. This is the palette. I've just added some water. Okay, I'm just mixing the paint. That's perfect. So again, the same process. 60%, I'm sorry, 2/3, 60%. I mean 2/3 of this area should be painted with water. I just dropped water outside there. I need to lift that, otherwise my artwork would be messy. Okay, so 2/3. And then I just turn it around a little bit just to make it easier for me, and get the green paint I have here and paint this area. Okay. Okay, so we've done that. Okay, now we just have to paint the violet areas. So for the violet areas, again, 2/3 would be water. 2/3 would be water. Let me just continue painting that area with water. There we go. Now we go back to our violet paint. And same process as earlier. So this side would be painted with violet, and we move towards the area that we painted with water, like so. Okay. There we go. So that part has now been painted. Now the last bit. So we paint this part 2/3 again with water. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. And now just get some violet paint. And then we paint the other end with violet towards the area that we painted with water. And again, if there's any excess paint, we just have to lift it. So we'll do that now. Okay, remember, there shouldn't be any puddle of water or paint, because that is going to affect the gradient. So if there's a puddle, when it dries, there will be a concentration of paint in that area, or a white spot in that area. So we are avoiding that. And to do that, we need to make sure that there's no excess water or paint. Wow. So this is our output. And as you can see here, it's more or less a well, it is a cubist art piece, but we've limited ourselves to the object itself. So we did not do any painting on the background. I hope you enjoyed this session, and we will be doing more cubism in the next week or so. Thank you very much. Bye.